Welcome back, folks. The socialist paradise of Venezuela is becoming a real catastrophe. Wendy's is fighting the $15 minimum wage by replacing its workers with kiosks. Good move, liberals. Who was the only president not to see a 3% GDP growth for one calendar year? Who was the only United States president in the history of the country to have never seen a 3% GDP growth in one calendar
Our
year?
current president,
And I think he's okay with that.
Barack Hussein Obama. He doesn't care. I mean, how many times do I have to say it? He doesn't care what he does to the United States in a negative way. He's got it as part of his game book is to bring the United States down as an international factor, as a basic nation that is outstanding. You know, he doesn't like the idea of America being the world's most outstanding nation.
Right, we're just another nation, like Greece and like Portugal.
Yeah, he wants us to be like every other little country in Europe. It's almost like a greatest success he's had in the last close to 8 years that he's president is bringing down America to a level of
mediocrity.
He has written the word mediocrity all across the face of the United States.
Now, you studying economics like you do, the last quarter came out at a 0.5% growth. I don't even believe that. Do you?
First of all,
these numbers are all fudged. The unemployment number is
labor
is
force participation is down.
94 million people not working.
Yeah, but labor force participation means the number of people that are actually working full-time or part-time that could be working. And the lowest number, I think, goes back to 1977. We're very close to that. Because
and we had a lot less people then too.
Oh, we had half the people practically that we have now. But the point is, everybody is. You've mentioned this before, that people aren't out there in the soup lines anymore. They're being paid off by the government and making a nice living.
So you just walk through the line with your EBT card and nobody knows anything. Could have been a debit. Could have been a credit card.
But let's just explain. The unemployment rate is when somebody goes and says, I'm unemployed and I want to get paid a certain amount. That's what the 5% is. But as far as the vast majority of people don't do that.
So as soon as you stop looking for a job, you're no longer unemployed.
That's exactly right. That's probably the best way of putting it.
And there's no category for you to go into. Or the small business guy that goes out of business. Where does he go? If he doesn't have a corporation, he doesn't get any unemployment benefits.
Not to castigate anybody, but did you ever see a smart person being Secretary of Commerce? You know who's usually a Secretary of Commerce? It's a giveaway for the financial backing they have given the person that has won the presidency.
Goldman Sachs.
You know, people like that.
Citigroup.
Exactly. It's a payoff. It's another, but that's where the information comes from, that and the Labor Department. All these agencies, you know, I'm hoping that if Trump wins, he will cut the agencies in half practically overnight.
Let's continue on. Let's talk about socialism here. Venezuela, which was riding pretty high a couple years ago when oil was at $100 a barrel, is a complete disaster. The government there has completely ransacked that country. And every corner of the globe where socialism has been tried, it's failed. And somehow Bernie Sanders is getting 20,000 people.
You're doing a very good job of picking out the worst example because, first of all, Venezuela was a perfect example of a country that should be rich and doing very well. Do you know that they have more oil sands capacity in Venezuela, in the lakes, Maracaibo, around in that area, than even the Canadians have? They owned oil companies here in the United States. They had everything going for them. And then comes along this Hugo Chavez, and now the guy that followed him and whoever is in charge now.
And where's Sean Penn now? He was a big supporter of Chavez out there, big socialist dictator.
Well, don't get me started on Hollywood, please.
The $15 an hour, we talked about that in the last show, how that was going to drive jobs away. Now Wendy's comes out and says they're going to start replacing workers with kiosks. How stupid do these people
Well,
have to be?
Anybody would figure out that if most of these sometime jobs, supplemental jobs, especially in public service, restaurants where kids even come in and get jobs, you can't just suddenly say, well, we have to pay them $15, even though it hasn't, they say, well, it hasn't been implemented. Yeah, but it will be because Governor Moonbeam here in the state of California has indicated that it's now part of the law. It's just a matter of time until it's implemented. And so consequently, this is...
It's like seeing the tornado. It hasn't hit yet,
Yeah.
but you can see it coming.
It's already accelerating the demand for less people and more technology.
And the robotic age is right upon us.
Boy,
We're not
is it
that far
ever.
away from it.
What do you mean we're far away from it? We're right in the middle of it now. It's just accelerating.
And they're going to be replacing all kinds of workers pretty soon.
Well, they're doing it right now. And I'm talking out here, suddenly where you had, somebody was telling me they were trying to get some service and they couldn't get through the line because they only had one person where they used to have 5 people checking you out.
The part that really scares me is that Bernie Sanders is getting tens of thousands of people out there buying into his free lunch program. It's not a good sign for the future of America.
Well, and it's mostly the young people that say free,
Which is the future of America.
Free college and don't worry, and all the debts that you have, we'll dismiss them.
I think he said the first thing he's going to do if he gets elected president, he's going to order the Department of the Interior to plant 3 million money trees throughout the country.
Well, the point is, I think he's going to just liquidate all the debts that the college students have. You know how much that amounts to?
More than credit card debt.
Oh,
More than U.S. credit card debt.
You put it all together, it's almost $1 trillion. $1 trillion.
And then they get out and they can't get any jobs because kiosks are doing the work for them. We need to take a quick break. You can follow Maury on Twitter now at mbeshloss. And to all our Facebook followers, make sure to click on the links. Make sure to share our videos on all your social media platforms. Again, can you name the last Republican to win the White House where a Bush and a Nixon were not on the ticket? Our global outlook, straight ahead.